Take it from the top. Take it from the top.
Here we go.
Hello, cruel world. This is Ace Vaughn Johnson from Faster Pussycat and LA Guns. Just letting you know you're listening to the Gary Brugman podcast. Rock and roll.
Yo, 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 it's your man's Big Daddy Roughneck. You're tuned into the Gary Brugman podcast. Prepare to be entertained.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Gary Brugman podcast. I'm here today with a really special guy, Chris Dutch Moyer. You're gonna learn all about him. I got Big Daddy Roughneck in the hot seat one more time. Hold on to something tight because we're gonna be bouncing off all kinds of damn guardrails today. So let's get to it. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Dutch, thanks for being here. It's an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for being able to do the show this early in the morning. Big Daddy Roughneck in the hot seat one more time. Look at him.
Still feeling good. Still going with it.
I hear you, brother. Well, today's a really special day for me. It is it's December 23rd. December 23rd, day before Christmas Eve. And
anniversary.
That leads into the dedication that I have today. And I've dedicated this podcast to this man before, but on this anniversary day, I'm going to go ahead and do it again. And I'm dedicating this podcast to President Donald J. Trump. President Donald J. Trump, who 1 year ago today granted me a full and unconditional presidential pardon.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Nice, man.
You've changed my mind. You've changed my life. And it's been amazing. It's being free. People take their freedom and being alive for granted all the time.
Preach it, brother. Preach it.
I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. So today we have Mr. Chris Dutch Dixon, 31-year Army. Dixon.
Say who?
Or not Dixon. Probably not
Moyer.
Dixon.
Say who?
I don't know. It's some other dude, but that's cool.
Slow down. Before we do the introductions, let's let everybody know why your voice is crackling. You're a little fidgety right now. Homie just got the call for what?
SHOT Show.
Confirmed.
Yes. But
so he's a little up there right now.
You know who Dutch Dixon is?
No.
He's the one that used to chase Lorenzo Lamas around in Renegade. There used to be a TV show called Renegade, and he was an Army guy that went AWOL because shit was wrong, and his CID was after him all across the country. He was riding on a Harley, fighting crime. So the dude's name was Dutch Dixon.
How about that? I didn't know that. So
this is Dutch Moyer.
My nickname comes from a different place, so but it's been mine for a while. So.
And I've always said when they make a movie about me, Lorenzo Lamas had to play me, but not anymore. But Lorenzo Lamas had to play my part. But Dutch Moyer, thank you for being here. You've been in the Army for a long time. You 31 years, 26 of those in Special Forces. Special
Amazing.
Operations. Tell us about that.
Oh wow, 31 years, and just like we said earlier, every day is a great day to be alive. I know that Big Daddy knows about that. I know about that. Anybody who's gone through the crucible, if you will, of a hard life or a good life with interesting challenges and/or a combat life over and over again. Those deployments, that up tempo. If you're upright and moving every day, it's a blessing without a doubt. So yeah, 31 years. I started my Army career back in 1981. And I went into the armor. I was an armor crewman. I was an M60A3 and M1 armor crewman.
Nice.
For about 4.5 years, and I got out in '86. I stayed affiliated with the Army through the National Guard programs, and I worked for a couple of different companies. I was a bartender for a while, just screwed around, and then I missed it so much I had to come back. So I came back in '91, and I went right into 175. Well, I went into the 75th Ranger Regiment, and I was a Ranger for quite some time. And then I made the jump to Lightspeed and came up to JSOC in 1999.
Nice.
I figured it was the professional thing to do. You just got to test your mettle as a man. What's the next step? And I stayed up there for 14 years. I retired in 2013. And I went to work for different agencies. I've been, what's that Navy SEAL say? I've been around the world twice and talked to everybody at least once.
Right.
I kind of feel like that. I've been around a lot. There are other dudes though. It's funny, there's other dudes that have been 26 times in a combat theater, 22 times in a combat theater, their whole life. If they joined the Army right before 2001, then it's been combat ever since, for the most part until just recently. So I did my last pool in Afghanistan in 2019, right before the COVID really started taking off.
So I was thinking about what you just said, and it's exactly right, man. Once you leave the military, there's that camaraderie that you miss it. I've been out of law enforcement since 2003, and not a day goes by that I don't think about it.
It's crazy, right? It's not. I don't want to describe it as a woe is me either. I don't want to say no, don't feel sorry for me because I missed it. It's not like that. I mean, I went through health issues just like Big Daddy's going through, and I went through my own. You're close to retirement anyway, kind of thing, So
right.
But man, it's just I'm so glad I can be a firearms instructor now, rifle, pistol, CQB, because I'm able to train the kids. I say kids, the young men and women that are strapping it on now and load magazines to go into whatever situation the United States military deems necessary for them, or a law enforcement officer. So, and that's important to me that I can still have some sort of impact, since I'm gone.
That's great.
Yeah, I got a friend of mine that we got a big thing down here, TTPOA.
TTPOA.
Yeah, TTPOA. They're a great bunch of dudes. I got a friend of mine. He used to be a Fort Worth cop, Scott Campbell, and he teaches with them a lot. And I got to attend a couple of things, and observe. And it's just amazing the things that these guys do, And,
yeah. So in 2017, I was in San Marcos with the Texas Tactical Patrol Officers Association. I did that trade show, and I worked with Gary Heath. He's a former SWAT commander out of Houston. And
I've heard that name.
And now in May, I just got booked back for the new conference in May. It's going to be in Round Rock.
Nice.
So I'm coming in May, bro.
And it's I'll be there. Let me know. I live right down the road in Cibolo. You know this area real good. I live just out of New Braunfels. So, but there's a lot of stuff going on in law enforcement these days, especially like up in New York, where the mayor ain't letting these guys do their jobs. They're not letting them do their jobs. They got them doing stupid shit like taking people out of restaurants that don't have masks. When
arresting people at a restaurant. Get that correct.
And it's just, I don't know how these cops feel because, they're following orders, whether they're lawful orders or not is one thing, but when you put them in a situation, was it Oklahoma City? It was Oklahoma City where that dude just pulled a gun on the cop and the cop's like, hey, don't shoot.
Yeah.
And what are these mayors and governors setting these cops up to get themselves killed, Dutch?
Well, so yes, short answer is yes, but the longer answer is training has been an issue for law enforcement for a long, long time. Right. And I'll go backwards. And I just got done talking to a friend of mine in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And because I've been blessed to be able to train guys all across the nation, Cape Girardeau we couldn't go to the SWAT roundup because he had a personnel problem. So you got guys that normally are doing a training type of non-commissioned officer job are now doing street work because they don't have nobody wants to show up anymore. Right. People don't want to be law enforcement officers anymore. They see what's happening. They know that the constabularies are being defunded. They know that the training isn't taking place. They're not getting a hand up. I did a training evolution with a whole bunch of guys here from Moore County, North Carolina, and we ran into a problem where you're looking at a guy who's been training and shooting for 20 years, and he says, okay, well, I know what to do. I said, okay, but how often do you get to train? One time a year is the common answer. And that's usually because that one day a year is set aside for qualification.
Right, exactly.
Where I came from, we did this kind of thing 5 days a week. If we weren't hunting man overseas, we're doing this thing 5 days a week, man. We're constantly training. Mm-hmm. And it's difficult. If I wore the king hat of all law enforcement, I would have half my guys training, and then I would have the other half of the guys on the street. So I would have double the amount. But of course, they don't have the money for that. They don't have the assets. It's just it's been going on for a long time. Big Daddy knows it.
And yeah, and you know, and you, other than being in active theater in an active war zone, cops are in a war zone every day. You know, across the whole country. Even a little small town cop, you never imagine that's when this shit's gonna happen. You know,
Potential war zone every time. Yeah, and this guy who didn't want to shoot this cat. Look at the pressure. Look at the pressure, especially after everything that's happened over the last year. Look at the pressure this young man is under, right? And I don't know anything about this guy background-wise.
Right,
You know,
right.
is he brand new? Is he a rookie? That guy kept saying he's a rookie, right? Remember that this
well,
video?
the perp was yelling at him, yeah.
Yeah, the perp, like, you're a rookie, you don't know.
And he had a gun out. He had a gun out, and he says, "Put the gun." He never drew on him.
Yeah, he was last to draw.
Yep. And the guy shot at him. How he didn't hit him at that close range? The guy shot at him, and then he started yelling, "Hey, I need help!" And he still didn't shoot back.
Yeah, because most people, by the way, are poor shooters with a pistol. So that's
Right.
your first thing. So thank God for that, right?
And then of course it happened to be, you know, a black guy, and I guess he didn't want to start another war riot across the country.
Again, yeah, what kind of pressure are they under now?
Exactly.
So as soon as he gets out of the car, right? So some of these cameras are set up so as soon as you hit the lights, the
Right.
camera comes on, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or they're wired in together somehow, or you step out of the car, as soon as you start motion, the camera turns on.
Right.
And now he's under extreme pressure, and wow, what kind of decision is that you're making? But that's a shame. It's just
And
a
it's
shame.
a case of you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You
Yeah.
know,
They lack
the
training.
mockery of them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and you see this in New York, right? So they're being so defunded. I mean, the troops on the street are being taken away. I
Right.
call them troops, but they're obviously law enforcement officers. But
They used to
come
be
on, man.
troops.
Yeah,
You know, like
come on.
last year when the thing in New York became let's douse the cops with the water and throw water bottles in them and stuff like that. You know, we met Bernard Carrick when we were in North Carolina. He's a friend of mine, and
Nice.
he told me straight up, had he been the police commissioner and that happened to his cops, he would have had 2,000 cops on that block by that evening. You know, he goes, nobody would have been able to move until we found out who dumped water on my cops.
Well, I gave along with that, I gave a little speech about Kenosha. Why was Kyle Rittenhouse there anyway? He was there because people needed other people's help. How come law enforcement wasn't there? Because the government didn't order them to be there. How come National Guard wasn't there in numbers? Because the government didn't, said no, don't go. It's just, so now it's down to regular citizens helping out other citizens because the real people weren't there, and it's just a shame.
Right.
We have a term in Long Island where I'm from for the Kyle Rittenhouses, and we call them buffs. These kids show up to scenes. They want to be a part of it. They're just too young to join yet, or they're in the junior program, but they show up and they help. I mean, that's what being a productive citizen in society is all about.
Yeah.
And that's the way everything's going right now.
Well, a long time ago, why can't I think of the guy who wrote the quote? But John Stuart Mill, maybe it wasn't John Stuart Mill, but the only thing for evil to overcome good is for good men to do nothing. So if we don't do anything, if it's Kyle Rittenhouse, then or whomever, who is
Give
it,
me
right?
1,000 Kyle Rittenhouses.
Yeah, and this thing, whatever this thing is, it stops when we say so, and we've been letting it go on for quite some time now, as we all know.
I agree.
Yeah, and like you said, your company provides a lot of training and to civilians as well.
Yeah, so now I'm doing open enrollment classes as well. I don't have the bully pulpit that some of these guys on social media have, and now we just unleashed my schedule for 22, and there's a lot of open enrollment. We're in Georgia, we're in South Carolina, we're in Tradecraft Range in Florida, we're at Red Hill Range in Georgia, we're at the Sawmill in South Carolina and Lawrence. It's a great place, so we're pushing it out. So we're doing more this year.
And just so I can put it on here, how would people register for one of your classes so I can put it up here?
Cool, man. Yeah. So DCM Consulting, that's me, Dutch Chris Moyer, bam, bam, bam. And then that's
Nice.
DutchChrisMoyer.com. That's it. That's the website. It's weird. It's my name.com, DutchChrisMoyer.com.
All right, cool. So I'll put
And
it
there's a calendar there that you can
and Jay,
sign up for a class.
And a very close friend of ours, Mr. JP Cervantes, says that you're an amazing instructor and you will kick his ass on the range any day.
Wait,
but he
who?
says, Mr. JP Cervantes, he says that you're an amazing instructor and you'll kick his ass any day on the range, but he says he will tear you up in the sexy man contest.
I tell you what, JP, this guy, if we're doing let's see, it's a rumba or something like that, yeah, he's gonna beat me. He's got the moves. I don't have that.
Yeah. Plus he's petite.
Muy petito.
I was messing with him yesterday because he was doing something on Instagram and he showed up as a Santa Claus. And somebody made a comment about him being a white Santa. He goes, yeah, well, when I go down the chimney, I was like, well, dude, what the fuck is a chimney? Oh, it was great.
Yeah, he's a hoot.
Love his Spanglish.
But yeah, talking about dying, man. I caught COVID back at the end of July, and at an event, and it put me in the hospital, bro. I was my mom's caretaker. She was 88 years old. I've been taking care of her for over a year and a half. She lived here with me. And I woke up with 104 fever. My oxygen was down to 72. I had to go to the hospital in an ambulance, and I passed out in the ambulance and woke up 3 weeks later paralyzed. They trached me. They trached me. I couldn't breathe. My mom passed away while I was on the ventilator, so I never really got to say goodbye. I don't remember leaving, but life is good, man. When you're free, that's my new thing. When you're free and when you're alive, it's great, man. It's really it's great. It's two of the most amazing things that people take for granted.
Loud and clear, 100%. Yeah, I went through the COVID already too. Big Daddy's going through a thing I went through a while back. It's cancer, and unless you don't want anybody to know that, so too late.
No, it's public. It's public. Thanks, Dutch.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, it's just, it's a Warriors thing, man. Somebody said to me after I got pretty much through it, most of it, they said, why don't you keep milking it? I said, that's, I could do that. I could milk it, I guess, a little bit, but I said, honestly, too, people say, well, you don't want to talk about it. I said, I love talking about it because it's it's another scar, it's like this scar here. It's like, whatever. It's just another piece that makes me who I am, I'm fine with it.
Right.
I'm fine with it,
brother. Exactly. But dude,
I'm the same jackass I am afterwards that I was before.
Actually, you're getting a little worse, but
Big Daddy, hey, is it Long Island? Is where you live is Long Island?
It's Long Island, New York, and when you do it, you hurt my freaking ears.
I thought it was good. Long Island.
Yeah, he's like my son. He's a flid. You know what a flid is, Dutch? It's something that's New York City guys call Long Islanders. They're flids. They're fucking Long Island douchebags. and
Only if you're from Nassau County, though. I deflect.
But yeah, man.
Oh crap.
I
have a question, Gary, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, brother.
Dutch, I see it says "Beware the dog," and I notice on your LinkedIn that you are a canine trainer. Can you talk to me a little bit about that? I'm a big canine fan.
Cool, man. Yeah. So that particular sign comes from the mission support site that we had in Baghdad. I absconded with it when I got out. And yeah, so I was a canine handler. As an operator, I was also a canine handler. And I did some work. Technically I had 3 dogs. One was never deployed to combat. The other 2 were. I lost a dog in 2005. And then the second dog I had did real well. And then I finally quit that as an operator handler. And I actually, at the end of my career, I became the canine program manager. So I had my hands on all that stuff. I gave briefs to Australia, I helped the program for the English, the English guys in the UK. So it was a really good, it was a labor of love, man. I love this stuff. At the same time, I used to tell somebody, did you do it all the time? Oh yeah, it's work, man. Because you're carrying around a 60 to 80 pound 3-year-old who's very, very, very interested in what's going on, and once, it's a labor of love for sure. Yeah. And every time I went out with that one, I was like whew, I'm free. Holy cow. I don't have to worry about that little jackass.
Yeah.
But,
It's like
it's-
you got a babysitting for your kid and you get to go out and have a drink.
pretty much, man. It's pretty
Yeah.
much what it's like. But they're a hoot, man. I really do. And we still do, me as a company, I still involve myself in, at the very least, consulting. I don't do a lot of the training stuff necessarily. Like when I put quotes around training, I would hire a trainer and he would come with me. I did a thing in Saudi Arabia for the Saudi Arabian Royal Guard, and we brought 5 animals over from Germany, and we taught them how to do everything they needed to do, and off they went. But I brought a guy over with me. I'd much rather be a consultant, I guess, telling you how the techniques works, especially when it comes to close quarter battle with the dog.
Right.
And integration, what we call integration. So that's where I'd stand. I'm not going to ever blow myself up saying that I'm a great trainer. I could certainly train, your dog in the backyard for sure. And I understand animal behavior, but yeah, I wouldn't jump up and down and say I'm a canine trainer.
Well, you
but I
definitely
could train.
dabbled in the handling.
And it's I have handled some dogs, man. And like I said, I lost one in 2005, and he was a great animal. He saved some lives when he died. So as long as we figure it this way, right? As long as if he saves one life, in this case he probably saved 4, but if he saves one, that's one more operator coming home to dads,
Amen,
kids, back to life here, and then getting the lease on life to fight again. So
Yeah.
right.
Canine's just another tool in the toolbox.
dude, it's a living, breathing tool. So it's a pain in the ass, but yes, he's a great tool in the toolbox, man.
I'm not a dog. I'm not an animal person. I was born and raised in New York City, and I've never had a pet, not even a freaking goldfish. I understand the attachment people have to dogs. TJ's got some great dogs, I guess. I did not kick that dog into the pool. He fell.
That was a hard nudge.
Yeah. So I'm at his house. He's got a pool, and his dog's walking next to me, jumping and all that. He's walking next to me. So I just wanted to see him be like, oh, so I gave him a little nudge. The fucker fell in the pool. And he was holding on, looking at me. I'm like, dude.
Held on for dear life.
And then I was like, oh,
He's a
shit.
swimmer.
And I look up.
Swimmer.
I look up, and Big Daddy's looking right at me like, you just pushed my dog in the pool. I was like, no,
no, wasn't me.
But I just lost a friend of mine back in July. Really, really good friend of mine. He was my partner in the Border Patrol. Known him for about 24 years. And he was one of those guys that when he passed away, I was like, well, now I'm the only one that know where the bodies are buried, That's how tight we were, But he was a canine supervisor for Borstar in Tucson. And they had worked a case on an Indian reservation, and they were coming out of the reservation, and a drunk Indian was coming on, and they hit head on, flipped his vehicle, caught fire. They yanked him out, but he died upon impact, and that rattled me hard, bro. And then that's when they said that I was so stressed out about it that when the COVID went around, my immune system was down, and that's what caused me to get it so bad, It may not have been the whole reason, but it contributed to me ending up in the hospital because it just rattled me so hard. And
I hate stories like that, man. I hate stories like that. You get a warrior who dies, that kind of death, and it's just that's tragedy.
Yep. And man, it breaks me just to think about it. But every time I think canines, I think of him because I used to fuck with him all the time because he was actually a canine instructor. He taught people. He was a trainer. He used to teach people to be instructors. And he'd go to El Paso and teach, and then he'd go up to Harper's Ferry in West Virginia to teach. And he got bit several times by his dog. I said, dude, even your own dogs don't like you, man. Your own dogs bit you.
Oh yeah, I got a nice bite right there.
I see it.
Yeah, I got all kind of problems. I mean, but that's once it's sort of like I guess holding all those dogs like that is sort of like working a knife fight. You're gonna get cut.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, you're just going to get bit. It's going to happen. It's a bummer, but you try to mitigate it as much as possible. This particular guy he was a house wrecker. I was the third guy he bit, so he failed the program. But it's a funny thing, man. Yeah, you're going to get bit most likely. Hey, so another connection we have here. I know some Bortac guys. I don't know if I know some Bortac Canine guys.
I know a lot of board star guys. I knew a lot of board tack guys in the past, but most of the guys I knew were old time board tackers and they've retired. But
Okay.
but my one of my partners used to be a supervisor. I can't remember his damn name right now. But my partner Gabe Acosta, he's a chief down in Laredo, and he's a board tacker. Them
Look at
guys,
you guys. How cute are you guys name dropping? Oh,
oh dude. Okay, I'm sorry, Hammerhead. That's his nickname, Hammerhead.
there you
Oh,
go.
Nice.
So have you trained with
Change the names to
Patrol
protect the innocent.
at all? Have you trained with the Border Patrol at all, Dutch?
Yeah, so I had. Yeah, so I know a couple of those cats, Chris Lopez and some other cats. So when our program was flowering, when we showed everybody that this could really happen, we got everybody on board. Everybody came by to see how it was working, and we started pushing out. So I was very lucky to be able to train with FBI, BORTAC, the highest levels of Navy SEALs, the Whiteside Navy SEALs, the Rangers, Norwegian SOF, German SOF.
Wow.
I mean, it went on, and then it just so I was very fortunate to be able to bring that program to light to a lot of our, well, what I would call a task force partners.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I miss the Border Patrol every day. And when I was in the patrol, we got to train with a lot of guys as well. And me and TJ were talking the other day, and I just got this thing about DEA, man. I got this thing about DEA because they're just a bunch of knuckleheads to me. And I'm sorry that they're a great, I know they do their thing, but everything that I've done with DEA, I can't believe they're an agency sometimes, you know?
I was asking, where's the DEA at the border? Because we know China has linked up with the cartels, and the cartels are bringing it over while the border agents are tied up with the
Processing.
immigration.
Yep.
Are they even tied up? I mean, are they even allowed to do what they're supposed to do?
Nope.
This whole thing is an unmitigated disaster.
Yep.
Agreed.
I was just down in Eagle Pass last week, and the National Guard's down there, and they started putting up Connexes, trailers. They put 3 or 4 Connexes, Humvee, 3 or 4 Connexes, Humvee, and then they've put Constantine wire on the other side of them. So, I mean, that's how bad it's gotten. I mean, when I was there 20 years ago, it was bad. We had a lot of traffic coming through, but we didn't have to shore up the border. Now it's just like insane, man. It looks like a third world. Well, it did back then, but now it looks like a war zone in a third world country.
It looks like Abbott now is finally rebuilding the parts that were stopped by the Dems when it comes to the Trump wall. But that's just a small portion, really. I mean, because just like you said, there's places that are more rural than that. Is it DPS coming out and do a lot of work there? They are, right?
Yeah.
Now they are.
DPS is flooding everything down there, and everything that Border Patrol is not allowed to do, DPS is doing. There was just a big, some agents got into a big fight in Laredo, and the DPS helicopter caught it on the flare, and it was on the news. And I mean, these guys were tossing each other around. There were a couple of illegals that were runners. They didn't specify if it was narcotics or if they were just running from the patrol. It just said runners. But yeah, throwing agents around, and one agent put another guy on the ground and then ended up drawing down on him. And it flashed me back to what happened to me, because Dutch, what happened to me, real simple. I chased a group of 15 illegal aliens. They were getting away from me. An agent and his trainee rolled up on me. They got in a vehicle, fresh pair of legs. Trainee caught the group, was trying to get them to sit. He had some guys sitting, some guys standing, going like this. There were 2 behind him, directly behind him. He had his back turned, that were squatted with their bags and doing this number. I didn't know if they were going to jump the agent or run away. They had already been apprehended. So I ran up, put my hand in his weapon, and pushed them onto their asses with my leg. And I said, sit down. Just knocked them on their ass. Violated their civil rights, deprivation of rights under color of law. 18-month investigation from the Office of the Inspector General. Not once did I ever speak to an investigator. Nobody ever asked me my side of the story until I was at trial. And ironically, they brought a civil rights trial lawyer down from DC. This guy was really good. He had me convinced I was guilty for a split second. And I got convicted. Did 2 years in prison for it.
What year was that?
2002. Yeah, and then I stayed out on bond pending an appeal, and I lost the appeal. So so I actually was in prison from 04 to 06.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I mean, and every time I see like these horse patrol agents with, you know, with their reins, every time an agent does their jobs, or I see a cop doing their job, it just freaks me out, because I'm like, you know, I'm not that guy in Oklahoma City that's going to be like, please put the gun down, because that's not me. But you just what, it's not the situation that freaks me out. It's what the government's going to do to you that freaks me out.
Well, and it's all perpetrated by the corrupt media. We already know this. I mean,
Exactly.
it's just not, you know, it's just not rocket science here.
Right.
You know, it's everything's so politicized. You know, now you have the media that's politicized. You know, they're you know, a lot of, I would submit to you that a lot of people are dividing the country on purpose. You know, there was a guy, I don't know if you know him or not, but he said a long time ago that he wants to see the transformation of America. You know, I can't remember his name. Hint, hint. Of course, everybody knows what I'm talking about. And he said we're days away from fundamentally transforming America. And so that some of that stuff's still going on, man. They want to fundamentally transform America.
Exactly.
That's why you let in thousands and thousands of people across your border, and then give them stuff for free. Yeah.
And call them freedom fighters.
Right.
Maybe we can have them vote for us in perpetuity, and then we don't ever have to worry about anything, and we'll fundamentally transform everything.
Right. Right. And it's just crazy, like in Philadelphia. But that, you know, Dutch, I think little by little, it's taken a little longer than I'd like it to happen. But the country's coming around. They're starting to realize what the administration is doing and what the left is doing. But it's taken longer than it's supposed to. But like in Philadelphia right now, there was a congresswoman who just put out a tweet about how police brutality needs to stop and all this and whatnot. And she got carjacked with 2 other congressmen on the way to her car. Right? She got carjacked. They took her keys, took her car, took her government cell phone, and then she had to call the cops. Right? And then who was it? Lori Lightfoot got carjacked or robbed, didn't she?
Yeah.
No.
Well, what country do we want to live in, this country where we have to open up our car doors like they're doing in San Francisco now? They're opening up the go ahead, take a look inside my car. Don't smash it.
Yeah, leave your trunks open. That means your car's clear.
I mean, that's what we're coming to, and the whole country is just upside down and ridiculous. And it's sad to say that, you know, a year ago we were in a better place. You know, a year ago we were in such a better place, and how people don't realize that. And what I don't get is, like, on the left, the things that they do, trying to destroy this country. They got to live here too. Wouldn't you want the country that you live in to be the best country? And just, I mean, it's like they want to live on top and just have everybody down there so they can step on. I just don't understand.
What commonality can we all have? There's only you know, you like I don't know if Big Daddy, you know, likes the NFL or something in New York. You know, so he's a New Yorker. So, you know, there's a guy who lives in Iowa. There's a guy who lives in Montana. There's people that live in Texas. But what commonality can we all have? And it's being an American. That's right. It's being loving America. And if we keep getting taught that America's bad, or the system is bad, or the system is corrupt, or people are victims, it's never going to be better. We're never going to get there. So yeah, you know, it's a real bummer that things are happening the way they're happening. But I think you're right. I think there are some good stories in there. There really are. There's some good stories about people waking up. And you had Virginia and Glen Youngkin happen. You know, there's other small communities that are also doing the same thing. People standing up and saying, you know, there's a guy in North Carolina, named Tony Cowden. He's got a good social media push. He's a 2A guy. And, you know, he said, look, I see something go sideways. I'm going to change it. So now he's running for Congress. I think that it may ruin his life running for Congress, but I hope he does well. I hope he does well, because he's a good man, and he's, you know, he should run. And I'm glad he's running. People ask me, you should run. I'm not, hell no. I got too many skeletons in my closet. I'm never running. No.
Like that Madison Cawthorn.
Yeah, that's a cool cat. I've met him. He's pretty cool. I've got a couple of friends here running at the state level. I've got Chad Prather, who's running for Texas governor, who's a good friend of mine, and he's always supported me. And My friend Victor Avila, who used to be an ICE agent, he was one of the 2 ICE agents that was ambushed in Mexico by the cartels 10 years ago. Where they killed Jaime Zapata. Well, he was his partner. He was in the Suburban with him that day. He got shot 3 times with an AK, once in the side and twice in the legs. And he's running for a Texas land commissioner. So I'm doing what I can to help them with their campaigns, because we need a change. And when I say the country's coming to a change, Dutch, I mean, like right now, there's 23 Democrats that ain't running for re-election right now in the House, you know. And then the decisions that the juries have made in Kyle Rittenhouse and the Arbery case down in Georgia, I mean, they're starting to make the right decisions here, which was unheard of before. And, you know, I believe it's coming around, and whatever this country's going through right now, I believe it's gone through in the past already. It's just, you know, it's just another hard time we got to get through.
Things do go in cycles without a doubt, but I'm just concerned that our cycles are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You understand?
Yeah.
You know, that the Overton window, that whole Overton window effect is just, we're just over here now. And it's just crept up so little every time, and now it's bam. Now it's here.
You know,
it's just,
and we're over here appointing transgender admirals and worried about school kids and stuff like that. And meanwhile, you got China building freaking aircraft carriers and their Navy's bigger than ours now. You know,
islands. They're building islands in the middle of the water.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they're doing that, and we're over here worried about transgender admirals, you know, and vaccinating our military. Not that I don't, you know, the vaccine's on you. I don't even want to get into that because I think it's ridiculous, you know. But it's just, they're doing that and we're doing this. I used to volunteer at the USO, right? At the height of the war back, you know, 10 years ago. And we had an Air Force kid come in dressed up as a Hooters girl, right? Right here, downtown San Antonio, white shirt, orange shorts. You know, I said, hold on, man. I said, you can't come in here dressed like that. He goes, I'm in the Air Force. I'm like, dude. And we kind of got into it. I said, when you come in here, you got to be dressed respectable. He goes, my birthday. I said, I don't give a shit. You know, you can't come in here like that. I said, you know, there's people on the other side of the world training to fucking kill you, and you're walking around dressed around like a Hooters girl. I mean, just the thought process that's happening in this country right now, brother,
dude,
just drives me crazy. And don't get me wrong, I'm a coastie, you know, I'm a coastie, but the shit that they're letting these guys get away with in the military these days, and especially now, you know.
Well, that's if you see something go sideways, I don't want to quote Captain America here, but I'm gonna, you know, when I see something go sideways, I have to fix it. So you had to fix that, right? You can't just say, we're just going to let this happen. If you're going to let it happen, I went into a dental office the other day, and they said, you know, you got to wear a mask. I said, well, I don't have one. So they gave me one, but I didn't wear it. And nobody said anything. You know, I went in later to pay the bill. Nobody said anything. I didn't wear a mask. I said, you know, I said, this only stops when we stop it. Does everybody know that? You know, just, you keep, I don't live in fear. I fear one thing only, you know, it's that guy. And I'm not, you know, you got these new shirts out and memes out, you know, trust God, not government. I'm completely on board with that. And we've always been suspect of the government. Come on, you know, the government, the only thing they need to do is protect our people and stuff around the globe that are in our interest. Otherwise, get out of my way. Just get out of my way. It's yeah, it's what it is.
I'll ask you guys a tough question. Keep or do away with the CIA?
That's actually a really good question. I think it's probably important for us to gather intelligence, again, to benefit America and to keep its citizens safe and our partners across the globe. But I don't know enough about the inner workings of the hierarchy, you know, how much power they really have. Any organization that has too much power, it corrupts, right? Absolute power corrupts, absolutely. So no matter what that agent is, whether it's a congressman or a senator or a president, you know, what gee whiz, let's dovetail into term limits.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can't answer your question, TJ. I really can't. I mean,
it's that tough of a question, right? Because as much good as they've done, they've also fumbled the ball quite often.
Well,
Every organization does. The FBI,
I was
look at the
gonna say
FBI right
nothing's
now.
perfect.
I mean, geez.
Right.
You know,
And the
but I
FBI
tell
is
them-
another one. The higher ups, they're
I
too
tell him
long.
this all the time. Is it's like, you know, government isn't bad, especially ours. We got one of the best governments in the world, or
Yes,
I'd
sir.
say the best government in the world. But it's not the government; it's who's in charge of the government. That's the problem.
People are
Same thing with
broken.
the individual agencies. It's who's in charge. Look, NYPD. NYPD was one of the top police forces around until you put somebody in charge of it that can't, you know, like De Blasio, you know. So they've got their hands tied. It's just a matter of that. It's who's in charge, you know, because without government, it's chaos, you know. I mean, just look at what happened last year in the Summer of Love, you know. The Summer of Love. There was no government. It was just freaking chaos. You got Chaz and Chad or whatever the fuck, you know, and it just everything just goes awry.
That's because they let order slip away. I mean, you know, and again, there's got to be order, and there was no order there. They didn't care about they didn't ask the police to go down there. Kenosha. They don't ask the police to go down there. And again, perpetrated by a media who wants to lie for their own benefits. I'm not sure how, but they do.
Right. And what's really funny is you know, when President Trump sent the freaking board tackers up to Portland and across the country, man.
Oh yeah.
Now they were scared. It's like, oh man, the men in green, you know, the men in green, because he was like, go down there and do what you got to do, and they did.
Bunch of dudes in multicam.
Exactly.
Jumping out of rental cars.
In rental. Dude, remember I sent you the Lego set? It was just a little white minivan with two guys in multicam. It was a Lego set. It said government employees. It was great.
That's funny, man.
But yeah, Dutch, when will you be coming back down here to Texas? You said you'd be down here in February in San Marcos.
No, May. So
May.
I'm coming. Yeah. So the TTPOA is the first week of May, and it's in Round Rock, and I'm showing up there for that. And I'll do I'm doing 2 days worth of pistol work, and that's just for the officers that attend. But hopefully it'll bring me back down more often. I've been in Lubbock, I've been in San Antonio before doing work, and I hope to come back, obviously. So that's my first thing. That's in May. I got SHOT Show coming up in January. I'll be there for that. I'm going to work with Maxim Defense.
Right.
I'm going to be a gun bunny. I'm not going to be a gun bunny, but
Yes, you are. Yes, you
all
are.
right. Okay, sure. Here's son. I'll take it. No, I'll take it. Just like you, Joe, I wanted to hang out with good people, and I wanted to ride, and I want to do my own thing for a little bit too. And I'll be walking around pressing the flesh and trying to, you know, say hey to whomever's out there. Because in this industry now, it's one of the things you got to do. It's kind of weird, but you kind of have to do it. What else? So Red Hill Range in Georgia. I'm working with Blackwater this year.
Nice.
They're making a comeback, right? I'm doing stuff with Tradecraft Range down in Florida, and I'm working with Jason Kelly, the wrestler Jay. So it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good year for us. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know those some of those Blackwater actual guys that they're building rifles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing. I just got some of their shotgun shells and I got one of their Raven 23 shirts.
Raven 23. I don't have that, but
Huh? Yes, exactly.
What is that?
It's
that's
shotgun slug.
they call this the heavy hitter. It's
It sounds heavy.
basically it's basically a Sabo round, which is discarding Sabo, which comes apart. So this thing comes apart and it's made for heavy slug shit. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I just bought like
Nice
3
round.
of those, and I bought their Raven 23 shirt. Those guys, because we got pardoned on the same day. So
Oh, that's
yeah, we got pardoned on the same day. And I was at Texas Range Day back in April, and they were there, so I got to hang out with them and talk to them. Really bunch of cool cats. We had some cigars. It was amazing. But Dutch, give me a minute. I want to throw out some people out there real quick. I want to thank 5150 Rifles. 5150 Rifles. Go to 5150rifles.com. Check them out there. Amazing new weapons that are coming out. I can't disclose it yet. It'll be coming out soon. Make
That's
sure you check it out.
5150.
That's 51. It's gonna be right here. 5150.com. 5150rifles.com. And then I want to thank Spectre Holsters for everything you've done for me. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. R2 Ammo, Matt, your place is awesome. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for everything. Their websites and Instagrams are right here. Check them out. And Pat Shops, Tim at Pat Shops. Thanks, brother. Everything's been amazing. The patches are awesome. Check it out. All right. You need one of these? I'll send you one. Let me know. And of course, Dutch, your company and your website
is DutchChrisMoyer.com.
DutchChrisMoyer.com. Check it out for some of the most awesome training around. I'll put it right here. There we go.
Thanks, brother.
And dude,
Old Patrol.
The Old Patrol. All right. Gil Maza over at Old Patrol. Go to oldpatrolhq.bigcartel.com. I said / in the last podcast. It's .bigcartel.com for some of the best Old Patrol merchandise you can imagine, man. This guy's an Old Patroller and he's retired. And his Instagram is great. It's Old Patrol HQ. No more pictures of him strutting his ass on the beach and checking out. No, now he's telling the truth about what it is because he ain't got to worry about it. He's fucking retired.
Retired.
That's right, man. Because there ain't no patrol like the Old Patrol, brother.
Ain't no patrol like the Old Patrol, baby.
That's right, brother. Honor first, honor always, man. So, yeah, Dutch SHOT Show. I'm gonna be out there with 5150, and I got your number. So I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, brother.
Heck yeah, man. Let's get together. We'll do a cigar and a little bit of brown water, maybe something like that.
Nice.
But,
Hell yeah.
Look forward to it, man.
You know, I have the leisure and honor of living just 3.5 miles from Warfighter Tobacco. There are a couple of 101st Airborne guys. They're like right down the road. They do the Freedom Friends podcast. I'm usually there every Monday night.
Oh, I need to check them out because I did a couple of events with them in New Braunfels back in the day. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Warfighter Tobacco.
Yeah, they're right down the road from me, man. They even came to visit me in the hospital when I was in a wheelchair, bro. And they do the Freedom Friends podcast. So I will have plenty of Warfighter Tobacco cigars. I'll bring you a sampler so you can check it out. And
Thanks,
yeah, we'll do some of that beautiful brown water. But yeah, man, it's been great. Any last words you want to put out there before we close it out?
Just stay in the fight, everybody out there. Just stay in the fight, man. You know, stay true, stay in the fight. What we talked about a little bit earlier. You know, stay consistent. Get out there, make a difference. Whether it's physical training, your diet, positivity. And just try to make a difference every day in life. And if you see something going sideways, man, try to fix it.
Yep. Train, brother. Train it, everything. Just,
Can't train enough.
And you can't.
Thank you, Dutch.
Thanks, man. And good luck with everything, bro.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
Praying for it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that concludes this episode of the Gary Brugman podcast. Please like and subscribe on social media. I'm your man's Big Daddy Roughneck saying stay frosty and always watch your six.
Yeah, we want to thank you for spending the last 55 minutes with us with Big Daddy Roughneck, Dutch Moyer, and myself. Thank you so much. Y'all stay safe, stay vigilant, be savage. God bless y'all. God bless Texas. God bless America. Love y'all. Take care.
Yay, yay. Good job. Good job.